we focus on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure we only shared about maximum 100 comments throughout maybe 3 months at the beginning. And then funny thing is that ever since November last year, majority of our clients who come, all of them, they come organically, or it's all inbound. All of them, they found us on ChatGPT.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's only because of those comments we shared in summer last year, but there is a very high chance that they definitely helped. So basically, I talked to an SEO expert last year, and he did an experiment on Reddit, Quora, and Medium, focusing heavily on Reddit. And basically what he noticed and what he was trying to do is to search his name as an SEO expert on ChatGPT, and I believe one more AI model, but I'm not sure which one, to be honest with you right now. And he couldn't find himself at all for approximately maybe 5, almost 6 months. Within those 5 to 6 months, he was really engaging a lot and super active on those free platforms I previously mentioned. And basically he was just answering questions, commenting, check out this SEO expert, and then he mentioned his name. So he was focusing on keyword, SEO expert, and a couple of variations plus his name. And then after those 5, 6 months, he actually started ranking in the top 5 SEO experts in his country and in the whole area on ChatGPT, which is, insane.
Absolute goldmine. Yeah, I'm talking to everyone. I'm in various group chats. And while we still have a lot of good ideas, no one has 100% found a reliable way to rank on ChatGPT. So whoever cracks that is going to have such first mover advantage. And it seems like Reddit is going to be a key part of that. Today, I am talking to the absolute god of Reddit marketing. Now, you've probably noticed Reddit ranks really well at the top of a lot of really good Google searches. If you're searching for product reviews and recommendations, it's pretty certain you're going to have Reddit at the top. Well, this guy has been marketing with Reddit for more than 5 years, and he's ahead of most of the game. There's even a lot of research that Reddit is one of the best ways to rank on ChatGPT and Perplexity search. And that's why he created key mentions to make Reddit marketing accessible for everyone. Now, he might be at the elite level, but I make no secret of the fact that anyone can benefit from just starting to play around with Reddit, because having a bit of knowledge and experience is going to be far ahead of your competition. I get a lot of clients asking for this service, and it's a really desirable service, where this guy's making $5,000 per client for Reddit marketing, but I've also done really well with affiliate as well. And I've made more than $10,000 just from playing around with this strategy. While the glory days were early last year, where I made $2,500 in February, I've still been making a consistent $500 a month or so, and actually noticed a real spike just in the last month with $600 in February 2025. So if I look at just the last 30 days, nearly $700 in the last 30 days. And we see I'm regularly making between $30 and $50 per day. So Reddit marketing is not as easy as it used to be, but it's still a fantastic opportunity. And in today's podcast, I'm getting some of these next level insights from my guest that he's worked out that very few other people are even aware of. Now, this interview is quite long and detailed. So if you'd like to just jump straight into the gold, put together a really good SOP for you. You can get that absolutely free if you just go to seojesus.com/Reddit, or there'll be a link somewhere around this video. So just fill in the form there and it'll be sent straight to your email. You might need to check in your junk. Please mark as safe and send a reply. Okay, today I'm joined by Michal Hajtáš. Have I pronounced that right?
Oh, yeah.
Thank God for that. You did say I could call you Michael, but I'll try my best. Michal here is the OG, the GOAT, if you like, of Reddit marketing. So he's had various high-level marketing roles throughout various startups in Europe. Just going through his CV is absolutely amazing, just from one success to another. But very much an SEO background like myself. But recently, in the last couple of years, he's doubled down on Reddit. And I know I played around with Reddit a lot earlier last year, so I did a little bit of affiliate marketing, but Michal's just taking it to another level. So he is the founder of Reddit Era, which is a Reddit marketing agency, specifically only offering Reddit marketing for high-level enterprise clients, commanding very good rates for it. And I think you said you were sold out, didn't you say? You got a waiting list?
Oh, yeah, that's correct as well.
And I've seen your price list as well, so it's to be sold out at that level is really impressive. But he's also the founder of Key Mentions, which is a SaaS tool that basically makes it accessible for anyone to start marketing with Reddit. Because you've probably seen some of my tutorials on Reddit where you need Ahrefs, which is already a £200, £300 a month subscription. And you're doing all this hunting to try and find search results which have got Reddit at the top. you need to buy aged accounts, and the aged accounts tend to sell out very quickly. You need to use the right proxies. You need to use anti-detect browsers. So a lot of people look at that and they just can't be bothered, and that's understandable. But they're missing out on a massive upside because, as you've seen from some of my case studies, if you can post a good comment in a really popular Reddit thread that's seeking product recommendations for a product you either own or you promote, then you can literally get sales overnight, and a lot of them. In my case, I made around 10 grand from Reddit over the last year. And even now, a lot of those commissions are actually recurring. So I'm still making around $400 or $500 a month from literally just playing around with Reddit about a year ago. With key mentions, you can basically sidestep all that annoying setup time. Rather than having to find your own Reddit threads with Ahrefs, you simply put in your keyword, or even better, if you're a brand, put in your competing brand names as keywords. And what key mentions does is it'll send you a digest every day of all the Reddit threads it's found that are talking about your keywords or your competitors. And then you can just go in and therefore add a little comment recommending your product. But this time you don't need to worry about the age profiles or the anti-detect browser or the proxies, because key mentions handles all that for you on the back end. So you actually find these Reddit threads with traffic that are seeking your kind of product recommendations, click one button, it looks at the full history of the post and will come up with a good contextual comment that doesn't read like AI, looks very plausible, and then you press a button and it will go and get posted for you from an aged account. So it completely cuts out the middleman of having this big architecture, this big setup just to get started on Reddit to promote your brand. So would you say that's a good summary, Michal?
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks a lot for the introduction, Stuart. And it was very well explained. Maybe I wouldn't be able to actually explain it the same way. So I really appreciate it. And I'm also happy that you basically understand the whole point of key mentions and the main kind of user value for its users.
Yes, I realized that was meant to be your bio, and there I am going saying how great your tool is. But yeah, I think main question is, I've got a bit of Reddit experience. There was a point where people were constantly coming back to me saying, come on, you're the Reddit guy, tell us what to do. I was like, trust me, I'm not. I played around a little bit, did a few comments, did very well on an affiliate basis. My number one recommendation for most people was brand mentions, because when Reddit, it was around March last year, Reddit made it so much harder to start posting links. Whereas if you're a real brand, you can just put your brand name in there and then people will go and Google it, which has got a load of good positives. You've got obviously the direct sales of people getting the recommendation and going finding you. But if you can get more people to Google your brand name, then that's really good generally for your authority and profile in the eyes of Google. So you're very likely to rank better. It works like a citation in that sense. So unlinked mentions are still valuable. But the point is, since then I've spoken to other Reddit marketers, particularly OnlyFans agency owners. They seem to be the elite level of Reddit marketers. I've met a couple of them. They normally come up to me saying, I saw your video on aged accounts or Reddit, whatever. But then they tell me about what they've been up to. I'll roll my eyes and say, yeah, Reddit was great. It's got a lot tougher. You can't put links in anymore. And they'll suddenly say, yeah, all these different WhatsApp or Telegram groups where we've figured out the new level, the next level. And that's the vibe I was getting when I met Michal. So yeah, what is the value of Reddit in 2025? What are you seeing as the sort of key benefits, the ROI? How do you feel about that pressure of Reddit has pushed back a bit, but it seems like there's still plenty of opportunities out there.
So basically, exactly as you said before, it's definitely getting way more challenging and difficult to work with Reddit, especially if you are a marketer and you want to promote your brand directly. Brand mentions is one of the best ways, in my opinion, and it's also exactly the name of the service that we provide in our agency. And what my main kind of recommendation to everyone working within Reddit or trying to promote their brand or just to basically play around on the platform is to understand the platform and its user behavior. Because Reddit is completely different when you compare it to traditional channels such as Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and whatnot. And basically you need to really understand the user behavior, how they are engaging on the platform, and what kind of content you basically need to create in order to not be highlighted as a marketer and to seem like organic and natural. And definitely there is still lots of value, and there is gonna be lots of value to continue working within Reddit in the future. And what I would highly recommend to everyone, what is also primary focus that we are doing right now, is to focus and target the most relevant and active discussions. because there are many different discussions happening on the platform, and basically every minute there is a new post created on Reddit. So targeting those that are very relevant and active. By active, that's people actually engage in them. There are new comments flowing in. And ideally, those discussions should be ranking well organically as well. Because basically, imagine that you are targeting those discussions ranking well organically. You have instant boost when it comes to brand awareness, as well as traffic. And you will basically keep getting that as long as the post stays active or ranking well organically. So that's one of the, very well recommended.
I really know some of these posts, they do get archived or suspended, things like that. And you can see people who put a comment in a year ago, they've still got their comment in there, but you can't put anything in there.
Yeah.
There is this kind of future proofing that the earlier you get in, the better, which is why I think it pays to be, I think you've just got to be really active, haven't you? I noticed with your agency, I mentioned the big retainers you're getting, but at the same time, what you're offering is a huge amount of volume. You were talking about 400, 500 comments a month. It wasn't my, let's go and add a few comments on relevant threads. You were doing some serious volume there.
Yeah, that's correct. It of course depends on the brand that we are working with, because what we always do is that we basically start with the research to understand the brand we work with and their niche on the platform. Because we cannot deliver, for example, 400 plus comments to a brand if there are not enough discussions, because then it just looks spammy, and basically we would achieve the exact opposite of what we are trying to achieve.
Yeah.
And basically a lot of people are asking me, for example, you have a very niche down, very specific brand or product, and they're asking if it's relevant for them to engage on Reddit. My answer is always the same. Like, as long as there is a discussion happening on Reddit, it's always relevant. Because you can always get very relevant and good traffic from Reddit itself. And then of course, organically as well, if it ranks well on Google, which we both know that there is an insane amount of organic traffic flowing into the Reddit basically every day.
Yeah, I think that's the crazy double opportunity of Reddit, where those of us of an SEO background, we're thinking parasite SEO. Google has obviously got this deal with Reddit, and now Reddit ranks really high. Every update, it goes up and up. There's now the discussions and forum snippet for most review keywords. You can look at even niches like supplements and all these classic affiliate niches. There's a discussions and forum snippet at the top, which tends to include Reddit. But what we're not even considering there, I know you are, but from an SEO perspective, you're forgetting that Reddit's its own ecosystem with a huge amount of traffic. And especially in the SEO scene, in the sort of niche site model, we used to look down on Reddit and say, if there's Reddit post ranking, then that means there's not good content out there to fulfill that search, because Reddit is just low quality, user generated. But I think more recently, I think a lot of us are actually preferring Reddit, because you tend to know that's normally genuinely unique experience. And I think that's why all the AI platforms are now training their AIs using Reddit. There's some shocking statistic I read recently that apparently in the last 2 years, there's basically been no new content added to the internet. There's not been any information gain, if you like. So it's no wonder that AI platforms and search platforms are starting to rely more and more on Reddit just to tap into what's going on with humanity.
Absolutely. And what I noticed about myself when I started with Reddit marketing approximately 5-ish years ago, and what I have been basically hearing ever since, is that everybody loves Reddit because of their kind of culture, and the users are known for no filter behavior, basically. And everybody goes to Reddit to find like real opinions, reviews, testimonials, and their own experiences with products, brands, or specific things in general. And that's basically a huge advantage for basically anyone, whenever you are a business or an individual. It's always recommended to basically engage on Reddit, try to figure out if you can detect maybe new trends, which I know a lot of people are basically using Reddit only for that, to go around or across all the discussions and try to find trends that they can basically start engaging in, and then potentially implement it for their own brand, or maybe even create a new product or a brand. So
I've heard about things like that. Yeah, I've heard about tools that will basically monitor Reddit for when people say, why does this thing not exist? And then that would be their next SaaS product.
Exactly. Yeah. Literally, there is tons of pretty interesting and crazy things at the same time when it comes to Reddit marketing. Of course, it takes time to fully understand a lot of things and a lot of experimenting, because even though Reddit has been, let's say, the same-ish over the past couple of months or maybe even years, but they are always updating their rules. They are making it more challenging for marketers who basically just want to spam the platform. So you, of course, you need to stay ahead of all the rules and updates, and you need to experiment a lot to basically make sure that you understand what works, what doesn't work, and try to adapt to basically get the best results possible for your specific brand or purpose.
And what have you noticed as some of the major trends over the last 12 months or so that you've uncovered? I know you mentioned a lot about the sort of account history and how you're talking about engaging, making it look natural. So is there an 80-20 there that if you are doing a commercial comment, then you should also be doing all this more organic engagement, things like that?
So definitely you definitely need to be super natural. I have never actually seen a comment or post working when you are an actual brand or marketer. They will basically destroy you right away. So you basically need to be super kind of organic, natural, create it or engage in general in a way that it's your own experience, or the experience was, let's say, from somebody within your family or relatives. And you need to basically be very subtle. As you already mentioned before, it used to be quite simple, where you could just share a comment with the affiliate link or just link in general, and then you could see basically the results quite instantly. Right now, we have to find kind of workarounds, as we are doing right now in our agency as well, that we need to promote only specific brands or specific projects, and then people will Google it manually and then find that brand on Google, which of course, there is some percentage of traffic that we'll lose, but still it also helps a lot when it comes to SEO, because your brand searches will spike quite a lot because of this system. And we already heard from a lot of clients, a lot of other marketers, that basically they wanted only this specific strategy or service just to focus on SEO and increase in brand searches.
Nice. So it basically does come down to the unlinked brand mentions. Would you say there's other sort of next level hacks you'd really recommend, or is it really quite simple in terms of stick with the brand search?
We have tested a lot of different approaches and strategies. Funny and weird thing at the same time is basically that a lot of things we tried worked very well for, let's say, a couple of weeks, even months, and then it stopped working at all. And that's a very common issue with Reddit and those specific or special methods, so to speak. And basically something seems to be working too well. It's basically too good to be true. And then of course it stops working because you know how those things usually are.
Yeah, sometimes I think SEO changes too quickly. It's too much hard work. Let's do something simple. As you say, Reddit hasn't really changed in 5-10 years. And it's a typical conference experience. You meet all these other people doing these amazing things, but then you immediately find out they're having the exact same problems that you are, all the same issues.
Yeah, absolutely.
I know
Alex
talks a lot about it, the entrepreneurial curve, basically, where it says you go from uninformed optimism and you think, yeah, this is going to work. And then you go into the valley of despair where you work out all the problems. And then you've got to work through that, refine it, optimize. And that's when you then ascend. And that's the same regardless of what the platform actually is.
Absolutely. But just to come back to basically your question before, my general kind of recommendation is to just really stay as natural or organic as possible, and just to basically engage with those users. And either, for example, create posts that will basically try to answer some of the questions that people usually have, either on Reddit or outside of Reddit, or just engage with the users exactly where they are looking for answers. And there is no special kind of treatment or hack. It's as simple as it sounds.
I think it is a volume game as well, isn't it? Because some Reddits are policed so much more stringently than other subreddits. Like I said, your plan's offering hundreds of comments per month. I think that's aiming for 400 comments placed, but then in order to provide a certain successful outcome.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, another thing is basically what we are trying to do, or what we have been trying to do for some months now, and what was basically one of the main focuses in the previous agency I worked for a few years ago, is creating specific posts, ideally ranking them on Google as well. So there are basically, of course, several kind of criteria you need to follow in order to boost the likability of the post to rank well. And that's also a strategy that a lot of people are trying to haunt, I would say, because it's very powerful and much easier, in my opinion, to rank than creating a simple blog post and then making that blog post rank on Google. is to create a post, written post, no AI, of course, manually written post that is answering a specific question, problem, or challenge, targeting a specific keyword, and then also like boosting some kind of, not boosting, but basically adding a couple of comments into that thread or post to basically bring as much value to its users as possible. Because then basically there is very high chance of Google seeing this piece of content as very valuable. For example, compare it with the regular or typical blog post, and almost in all cases they will always choose Reddit post instead of a blog post.
I think the ultimate game at the moment, I've said to a few people, especially in my mastermind, how can we actually trigger the discussions and forum snippet in terms of if there's a search term you want, the keyword you really want, can you do multiple Reddit posts and some forums and things like that and actually get Google to pop up with that discussions and forum snippet that wasn't there before? But most of the last year, I was trying to work out how to do posts on Reddit, how to actually create my own subreddits. Really tough, kept on getting banned. I was trying all sorts of things. I was using microworkers to try and get people to join my subreddit, comment and interact with it. Still got banned. But some people cracked it. I remember there were people promoting gold IRAs, which is obviously the ultimate affiliate product. And yeah, they had a whole pure spam gold IRA subreddit full of gold IRA posts, and they were fine. So, like I say, I think it's that 80-20 thing that knowledge versus experience, we can all try and get 80% of the way there. But that final 10-20% that you're doing, that's that final finessing of what are the small nuances here that you've just got to keep testing and testing to actually get over that hurdle. And that's how you do it. And like you say, once you've got there, it might not even work for another 2 weeks.
Exactly. It also really depends on basically a specific person working with relay marketing or the brand and their focus, what they're trying to achieve on it. Because you can either focus just on commenting, you can also start creating posts, creating communities. There are many different kind of strategies or methods what you can do basically on the platform. Of course, when you dive deep into all of them, most likely, especially if you are brand new to Reddit, I wouldn't recommend that because of course you will get overcrowded and you will not have enough time or manpower to basically realize what's working well or what's not.
Niche down within Reddit to either comments or posts is what you're saying.
That's what we noticed that works well, or used to work well for us very well, is to basically focus on one specific thing. Then it's incredibly hard. We spend lots of hours on basically trying to pitch perfect the specific method, to analyze it, and then to see what are the actual results from it. Once we managed to find the actual kind of, let's say, golden rule, then we started to offer that actual service, for example, to our clients, to our affiliate partners, or basically just to ourselves, as we have lots of different projects in our scope. And then we were basically, started going full power for a specific service or method. And then in the meantime, we started slowly diving into another method to start experimenting again, analyzing it, and seeing basically if it works and if it brings the results that we are basically trying to aim for.
Nice. I think that's good advice generally, that people talk about focus versus diversification. I'm against the idea. Some people say you should only do one thing until that really grows. I'm not really a big fan of that. I think, like you say, having a second project on the side is a good idea, but equally don't try to do everything at once. So many people starting in business saying, I'm going to do Facebook ads, I'm going to do SEO, I'm going to do this. And you can see they're not making a meaningful dent in either of them. But in terms of that learning, that experience, and how you actually get those authentic comments across, I really noticed with key mentions, when I press the generate comment button, that comment you get is not just standard ChatGPT. It's very nuanced, very trained, and really sounds like a Reddit user. They're often quite quirky, quite flippant. So what does that prompt actually look like? It seems like you've taken a lot of that experience, a lot of those learnings to try and create the ultimate Reddit prompt.
Yeah, basically we tried to, our main focus was to sound as natural as possible, and especially with a kind of type of the language or tone of voice that the users are using. Exactly as you said, people on Reddit are engaging very differently in comparison to those traditional channels, and therefore you need to basically adapt and be in that kind of focus or aspect to basically not be highlighted by other users. Because I forgot to mention before, what we noticed approximately 2 years plus ago is that we are very often highlighted by other users as marketers, just scammers. And generally speaking, there was a lot of angry users who basically just had the urge to, put us down. This doesn't happen that often nowadays.
That's a big thing on
Sorry,
Reddit. Is that they really protect and value the community, so they will call you out, but it can get quite aggressive. And of course, all your history is public. So if anyone is suspicious, it's very easy to go onto your profile, your aged account, and see they're posted in this best VPN Reddit, they're posted in this AI girlfriend subreddit. The footprints are really quite obvious.
Exactly. It's very easy to trace you basically if you are an actual marketer and you are using only one account to promote your brand. That's why, as a general rule, I always recommend to diversify this kind of method or strategy. Use more accounts for your promotion and to generally be engaging on Reddit, not only promoting your brand per se. Because as you said just now, if you only engage within a specific niche, only promote one specific brand, they will notice it right away. And then, you can get also your account banned very quickly. So the diversification is very important here. Try to be like as natural as possible. Be active on Reddit every day and engage within many different subreddits, niches, and the whole platform in general. And also I would recommend to, for example, like upload, download, comment, post, like basically whatever that a basic or regular user does. Because if you're a marketer, you're usually focusing on one specific thing. Just to post a comment and that's it. You don't care about uploading, downloading, maybe browsing the platform. You just focus on one specific goal. And then Reddit is becoming very smart nowadays. They will notice it and then you will get your account banned very quickly.
I think that was a real relief when I discovered key mentions that, my God, it's not just a keyword tool. It's not just a tracker for keywords. Just having your accounts all just handled for you. I say your accounts. We don't, as a user, you don't even touch the accounts. There's just this back-end network, all the accounts just maintained and managed for you, which I had so many people reaching out to me. I remember we all go and buy a Reddit account, and there's some good providers out there, but they sell out pretty much instantly. So you're spending $80 trying to buy the first Reddit account you can get before it sells out. And then you've got to set up with the proxies, the browsers, and then, it's very easy to get it banned. And if you don't have the operation to really commit to making it look organic, giving it life, basically, if you've got a team who can keep going in and nurturing that account, then there's a big ROI to Reddit, but there can be also a big cost. That's what I was really shocked about key mentions, that not only does it make it easier to actually just find the threads, generate the comment and post, but just to fully outsource your aged account process is a big relief. I presume that's why you built it that way.
Exactly, basically that's the main unique selling point of key mentions, that you can, let's say, become a Reddit marketer or engage on Reddit yourself without having a single Reddit account, which is very rare nowadays, of course, because all the other tools, they basically you need to connect your own Reddit account to the tool to be able to comment there, or you need to just comment yourself manually on the platform. And with key mentions, you can basically try to find all the relevant and active discussions, whether they are already ranking well organically or they are basically very new, popping up on the platform, let's say today or within the last 3 days. And then you can engage with them without being afraid that your account might get banned and so on. So that's a huge advantage for you basically to either just start playing around with it if you are new to it, or to already start promoting your brand if you know how it works, and then basically, not really stress about your own accounts that are already, let's say, farmed and so on.
Yeah, and the updates are amazing because when I first joined, I put in my keyword for one of my products, and there were a couple of threads there. And it was very 80-20. One of them was getting around 10,000 traffic from Google. The others weren't really getting anything. But that's fine because you make it a 30-second job to go in, post a comment and done. If one person sees that comment and buys over the next year, then that's good ROI. But then the next day when I wake up, my inbox has got all these reports of, we found this keyword mentioned on this thread, this brand name has been mentioned here. Like I say, we talk about keywords, but I think really the value is just get a list of your closest competitors, put those into key mentions, and then you'll get updates whenever anyone has mentioned one of your competitors in a post. And you can just very subtly and slide in saying, I tried them, but I also recommend this alternative provider. Between the two of them, I feel this one offered this, but this one also won in these regards.
Absolutely, Basically, I know a lot of people, either freelancers, contractors, VAs, or the actual agencies that work or focus on Reddit marketing in general. And many of them, they basically have been focusing only on I don't know if I can call it competitor analysis, but basically monitoring and following their competitors on Reddit, and then trying to engage in those specific communities or discussions. So they were not really creating new posts. They were not really promoting their brand per se, only engaging in the same threads as their competitors were, just to basically try to make sure that if people find their competitors, they will also find them as well. It's also quite an interesting approach, but it just basically shows that there is another interesting value of Reddit marketing and generally speaking approach that you can basically try and experiment with on the platform.
I think the opportunity there for Reddit marketing is largely untapped. There are not a whole load of Reddit agencies out there. You're doing very well. If you don't mind sharing, can you just give us a sort of average of what your client looks like, what an average client might pay you, and maybe an overall estimate of where your current revenue is at?
Yeah, absolutely. So basically, on average, I would say the client pays around $5,000, maybe $6,000. And officially, we started the agency last year in, I would say, June, because in May, we just basically started playing around and making sure the service actually works as we want to. In June, we started getting first small clients. And at the moment, we are at around 180,000 revenue.
180,000 per month, was that?
No, it was in total.
In total, right.
Yeah, but basically first, if I remember correctly, until July or August, it was only around maybe 8K, not even 8K a month. And then we started getting bigger retainers, bigger clients who basically wanted to really go hard on Reddit and maximize their results and experiment a lot. And even though we have the agency and key mentions, as you mentioned, we are still heavily focusing on the affiliate programs as we have several partners within different niches. At the moment, primarily adult niches, because the conversion is basically just, best performing out of all niches we experimented with. And we have special deals with those partners. And then we are creating our own valuable solutions that we are then promoting on Reddit and then driving or redirecting all the traffic to our partners.
Well, that's impressive stuff. That's probably given me another 10 questions. Let's just, I'll be disciplined. I think the real value here is I talk to a lot of SEO agencies. I've got SEO agency training and coaching. And we all have that dream of we want the 3K clients, the 5K clients, the 10K clients, and it can happen. But generally, everything I'm seeing across the market is, like everyone says, it was a lot easier 3 years ago. These days, there's a lot of economic uncertainty. We've got AI uncertainty, Google uncertainty. But although you perfectly can still get those clients, it's just a bit harder and the sales cycle is longer. I've seen a lot of SEO consultants where they're struggling to get those 2K a month plus type retainers. And it's still a big opportunity. There's still plenty of money to be made there. But there's always that idea of the blue ocean strategy. Where can you go where you don't need to work nearly as hard and get much bigger results? And it does seem to me that Reddit marketing is a blue ocean. And I'm not saying that everyone should start up competitors to Redditera, because I think there's a lot of work there and you've really mastered the SOP there. You said 5 years of experience with Reddit marketing. But I think if you just go to your average digital marketing agency, how many of them are even touching Reddit? And meanwhile, they're having to manage that client relationship that obviously we're going to run paid ads. They take a while to warm up. We're going to do SEO. That's going to take 3 to 6 months to work. Whereas how many of them have just said, by the way, for an extra $1,000 a month, we will monitor your competitors on Reddit. We will comment whenever they're mentioned, and we'll also comment you in any relevant product recommendation requests. Now, it might take a bit of education to actually explain to them the value of that. Why do they want to be on Reddit? But the fact is, if you do that, they are going to be making money within a week or two. At least that's my interpretation of it. So I feel like every agency owner out there, every consultant out there, offer it to all your clients, extra $500 to $1,000 per month per client. And it's basically just a guarantee that we will set up these keywords in key mentions, and then make sure that we do respond, we do comment with a relevant non-spammy recommendation. Where am I going with this? And basically then all it becomes a case of is maybe once a day, have a team member, get those emails from key mentions, go in and make those comments. Only takes 5 to 10 minutes. But by the end of that month, that client is going to have 50 to 100 recommendations across Reddit, depending on the niche. And there's a very good chance they're going to be making money from that. And that means all your other campaigns, the SEO, the PPC, everything else will do better because of what you said, that brand awareness, that branded search.
Yeah, definitely. There is a huge power and huge value in doing that. And of course, it's difficult to find kind of the golden process or method of engaging on Reddit. It takes a lot of time. I'm not gonna lie to you. We also many times at the early stages, we were thinking of actually stopping with that. We were losing our minds at some points, of course, because of all the new rules. Our accounts were getting banned left and right. We had a lot of also really good farm accounts or even subreddits. They got banned out of nowhere. So of course it was very chaotic and challenging. But then at the end we found the best working kind of process and method. We managed to luckily stick to it, and it has been working very well ever since. So that's also, I guess, something to mention to potential kind of marketers or agencies, that they need to count on being patient and try a lot different approaches or methods, not basically just try one thing, it doesn't work, and then giving up on it.
Nice. I think, the key learning there is that obviously you're the rock star, you're 95% in terms of the overall impact on Reddit. But there's a lot of people out there where if you only go up to the 60-70%, which is just being present, engaging in some comments, and just acting on behalf of your clients, try and get them into some Reddit threads, then I think there's a lot of potential there.
Absolutely. Yeah. Not sure what else I can add to that. Yeah.
I think the point, so the point is, yes, you're there charging 5 to 10K a month. Fantastic opportunity if you're willing to take up the gauntlet, but no small task. Whereas, so many agencies, consultants out there, reach out to your existing client list. Are you interested in Reddit? And just come up with an offer that's, previously they've got nothing on Reddit. Now they can have something on Reddit. I've had people reach out after watching my videos saying, I own a SaaS company or whatever. I watched your video. I made a few comments on Reddit. And suddenly I'm getting all these inquiries coming through saying, I saw you on Reddit. So there's not many things in digital marketing these days where you get that kind of black and white response. I did the same thing. So I found a subreddit that was doing really well, best SEO agency, and it was ranking for best SEO agency. So I just did a live case study. Watch me go in and put a comment recommending SEO Jesus. Not strictly compliant, but within a couple of days, I did have an inquiry come through saying, we're looking for white label partners, and I saw you recommended on Reddit. And there's not many things where you're just like, my God, this works these days. And in that case, it did come clean and say that was just a case study. But real untapped potential there. And
Definitely.
I know you told me about this the other day. The really exciting thing now with Reddit is that idea that it's training data for the future AI searches. So benefit one is you can sell more. Benefit two, there's some SEO benefit. But it looks like there could well be benefit three, where if you rank on Reddit, if you're promoted across Reddit, there's a very good chance you're then going to rank on ChatGPT, Perplexity, AI overviews. Tell us more.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you mentioned that. It's a very interesting and quite crazy actual experiment. So basically, I talked to an SEO expert last year, and he did an experiment on Reddit, Quora, and Medium, focusing heavily on Reddit. And basically what he noticed and what he was trying to do is to search his name as an SEO expert on ChatGPT, and I believe one more AI model, but I'm not sure which one, to be honest with you right now. And he couldn't find himself at all for approximately maybe 5, almost 6 months. Within those 5 to 6 months, he was really engaging a lot and super active on those free platforms I previously mentioned. And basically he was just answering questions, commenting, check out this SEO expert, and then he mentioned his name. So he was focusing on keyword SEO expert and a couple of variations plus his name. And then after those 5, 6 months, he actually started ranking in the top 5 SEO experts in his country and in the whole area on ChatGPT, which is insane. And it's, as you said, it only shows, but it only shows that actually it works.
Absolute goldmine. No, I'm talking to everyone. I'm in various group chats. And while we still have a lot of good ideas, no one has 100% found a reliable way to rank on ChatGPT. So whoever cracks that is going to have such first mover advantage. And it seems like Reddit is going to be a key part of that.
Absolutely. Also, for example, for Redditera, our agency, we haven't really done any outreach. We haven't really done any marketing whatsoever. We only created a simple website that we could potentially show to our potential clients and so on. And then we focused on Reddit, and I'm pretty sure we only shared about maximum 100 comments throughout maybe 3 months at the beginning. And then funny thing is that ever since November last year, majority of our clients who come, all of them, they come organically, or it's all inbound. All of them, they found us on ChatGPT.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's only because of those comments we shared in summer last year, but there is a very high chance that they definitely helped, with the whole inbound funnel as well.
Yeah, it definitely depends on the niche, but I think that's the dream, isn't it? If you're getting
Yeah.
these clients at 5 to 10K per month and all it cost you was 100 Reddit comments and now you're being recommended by ChatGPT. Yeah, I question how repeatable that is, but yeah, that would be the dream.
Yeah, it really depends on each industry or niche, because of course there are niches that are extremely saturated and the competition is just insane. Of course, we are talking about a different quantity than.
I think on that basis, do you have any ideas from all your work of what the actual ROI is of Reddit? I know it's unpredictable, just like SEO, but I love the fact you can go to a client and say, we will promote you on Reddit and you will get results within a few weeks as opposed to months and years. Similarly, yeah, in your case, you might be charging 5,000, but that is for hundreds and hundreds of comments. And as they get very fast turnaround time from that. So do you actually have any metrics in terms of money in versus money out, whether you present that to clients or what you've experienced with your own projects?
Right. I don't have a specific metrics, but one thing that is extremely important to mention is also the actual landing page or website that you're trying to promote or product. Because what we noticed in the past, I believe it was summer last year, we were promoting at the same time two pretty much exactly the same products or companies. One of them had really well-built website that already looks very legit. I already felt very comfortable. And yeah, when I was visiting the website, and I was actually very keen to find out more and actually make a purchase. The second website was very old school. It seemed like it basically was built like 20 years ago almost. And I wasn't sure if I actually wanted to click more within the website itself. And what we noticed about the result is that the first website is basically our still current client who have been with us ever since. They were very satisfied and happy with the results. And the second client wanted a refund within 3 weeks. They were very unhappy with the results. And yeah, they said it was one of the worst experiments they have done in their life, which I know is very interesting and weird at the same time, but it also shows that how important your landing page or your website is in general. And you need to also focus on the actual conversion, because we can estimate the actual traffic or clicks, but we cannot influence those users to actually make a purchase or to follow through the whole funnel.
Yes. Was that for your agency or was it a product you were promoting?
But it was not our agency, but it was to our clients that we are promoting.
Got it. No, that's incredible from a retention perspective. We all know about, landing page and conversion rate, but the fact that it affected the actual customer lifetime value and how long they stuck around, that was amazing.
Yeah, exactly. Basically, we also many times, if we have a specific client, for example, we always try to recommend them a specific number of comments we would recommend based on their specific niche and as well how many discussions we find on Reddit. And also, for example, if I notice that their website might be super outdated, or if I see some like major issues, then I always recommend it to them to basically do something about it before we start the campaign. Because of course, we both want to win. And of course, our goal is to make every client happy with the results and help them get more sales, of course, and so on.
It's a customer avatar type thing that somebody comes from Reddit is going to be different to somebody who comes from a Facebook ad or an organic result. We know with SEO, generally, SEO results have a lot of trust because historically Google's built that reputation of normally making very good recommendations. But you probably could get away with less of an experience. Whereas, I think your average Reddit user is a lot more skeptical and needs to be nurtured properly in that regard.
Yeah, very true, very true. I remember seeing some freelancer, I believe it was last year, maybe around October, November, who did a very quick survey with approximately around 300, 400 people. And he was asking basically how trustworthy are the online platforms they are using. And basically they listed Reddit as the most trustworthy. Second one was Google, but like he was quite a big difference actually. And then at the end, of course, it was like Instagram or TikTok and so on. Because basically everybody knows that if you go to TikTok, Instagram, it's all marketing. It's all basically just to make you spend more money. On the other side, Reddit is well known for giving you actual answers opinions, reviews, and to actually help you to find the answers you're looking for.
Wow. Yes, it's not just traffic, it is conversion.
Yeah.
And where we're going on for time, I still want to talk to you loads about agency ops and scaling. But before I forget, I think what I really want to ask is, you mentioned, of course, the adult niche. Basically, anyone I talk to who is an absolute rock star with Reddit, they are typically in the OnlyFans niche. So can you give us a bit of an insight into how that works and the kind of strategies employed that you're willing to share? Because in my mind, it's a totally different ballgame to the affiliate approach, where you're going onto posts and leaving comments, or you're creating your own posts. I think with a lot of the adult stuff, the OnlyFans stuff, it's much more about going into the not safe for work Reddits and relying on images and tagging the right OnlyFans star. But I don't know, I don't have experience. So anything you're willing to share would be valuable.
Oh, yeah, of course. So we have been only working for a few weeks, I would say maybe maximum 2 months with OnlyFans. We are heavily focusing on adult industry or within different niches. But when it comes to OnlyFans, what we noticed with our previous partners or clients, they basically wanted us to focus on quality rather than quantity. Just engage with as many posts as possible and promote or mention there more, because they believe that basically the whole quantity of comments will show its users that these models are one of the best performing models on the platform. And they also noticed basically Reddit users are very likely to stay active, and they will basically keep subscribed for a much longer time than, for example, if they come from, let's say, Instagram or TikTok. So they didn't really care about how many new subscribers they will get, because they believe and they show the data that they will more likely stay for a longer period than if they come, for example, from Facebook or something.
Wow. So maybe with a non-real world example, could you illustrate to us what that looks like? Because in my mind, I'm thinking there are all those adult subreddits where it's all just images. Some of them will tag a particular creator. I'm sure that's one approach, but from what you just said, it sounds more, are people searching for recommendations of the best OnlyFans in this particular niche? And then you can simply make a recommendation. Or are you relying much more on images, GIFs, videos?
I would say both. Like for our affiliate programs and our agency, we are heavily focusing on non-image content.
Right.
So regular posts, we're also trying to either create new posts and make them rank well organically, or we are just engaging with discussions or threads that are already ranking well organically. And then we join the discussion, and then we promote whatever we want to promote.
All right, so it's very much still the same approach as the other niches we've talked about.
Pretty much, yeah. I would say the only difference is the actual behavior of the users, and it's more open-minded, I would say, and it's simpler, I would say. You don't have to really focus on answering it, I don't know, in a crazy way, being super kind of formal, for example, or really answer the question. You can just say, check out this website. Or go here, or like literally it's much simpler and easier within the adult niche.
So for those watching and listening who might be a bit confused, why are you so focused on OnlyFans? There's, again, another one of these blue ocean strategies at the moment. People are starting OnlyFans agencies, and basically it's a package, and typically it relies on getting more subscribers to a particular OnlyFans star, but also better monetizing that OnlyFans star. So if someone's just starting out, they don't really have sales and marketing experience. So if they get some subscribers, great. But then what's their process for actually getting maximum value per customer? Now, these are things that are taught to you as an entrepreneur, but to the average OnlyFans star, there's not that much education out there. And if you're going to be doing this, then you might as well get paid more for it, right? So what a lot of these agencies will do is they'll basically have teams of people who have basically looked at a lot of data and they've come up with the scripts that work. And so these OnlyFans stars can basically put their account largely on autopilot and have these teams of people engage in conversation with their subscribers and basically upsell them and tantalize and tempt them a bit, and then say, by the way, would you like the next package up to unlock this content? So you've got this maximizing customer lifetime value, increasing the average order, if you like. But then on the other side, it's how do you get more people into that funnel? And obviously adult is very restricted. You can't use most paid ad platforms, and therefore Reddit is really the biggest opportunity there.
Yeah, very true. Also, I forgot to mention at the beginning that when we already have a huge network of accounts, but last year, a lot of basically the cleanup that Reddit does every once in a while, they are usually focusing, what we noticed is on adult niche. So basically, or adult industry. So the majority of accounts that we own, usually the ones that are getting deleted most often are within the adult industry. It was the same with the subreddits. We owned several subreddits within adult niche. Pretty much almost, I would say it was around like 85% of them got deleted or banned.
Wow.
Yeah.
How are you mitigating? Are you just doing more? You're going for volume?
Yeah, it's quite annoying. I'm not gonna lie to you. Of course, especially if you dedicate a lot of manpower and time to build it, and then suddenly get banned out of nowhere. But yeah, that's the game you have to play. We just create a new subreddit, and then we try different approaches. And sometimes, for example, we create two subreddits within the same niche, and then we just try two different approaches to see which one works better.
Yeah, I think it really is a volume game because, like I say, I did this experiment last year, and initially it looks like I was going to be doing 2-3 grand a month. And again, that was in the AI girlfriend niche, so adjacent. And that was it. Yeah, Reddit works insane. It's working great. Then there's this massive clampdown. But even though my accounts got banned, my comments got taken down, I can go into the stats 6 months, 9 months later, even today, and I can see I'm signing up new customers. I am still getting clicks. I wouldn't say I did a huge amount, but there's probably a good 20 to 30 comments out there distributed across the platform, and some of them are still driving traffic a year later. Just because 70-80% of your work gets removed, there's still a trace there. There's still an attribution there. It's very difficult to completely wipe you out. So I think like everything else with entrepreneurship is about persistence and consistency. You might think, I've just been slapped, it doesn't work anymore, but you'll probably find there's still plenty of benefit there.
It's a long-term game, but once you basically find a way, figure out the volume and how to basically manage it yourself, then you're good to go.
Okay, so I think one final question there would be just to get back to basics. Obviously, we've taken everyone to the sort of the high level stuff, but if we just come back down to basics, most people are not doing Reddit marketing. Most people are not even talking about Reddit marketing, and yet we've got this enormous user base. We've got Reddit posts that are ranking top of a lot of really good Google results. I've even had local SEO clients come back and say, there's this Reddit thread ranking really top for our keywords. It'd be great to get a recommendation in there. I'd say for those listening, if you wanted to either start a full Reddit agency from scratch, or if you've already got an agency and you just want to introduce Reddit marketing as an offer, what do you think is the sort of overall roadmap, the SOP there, Michal, in terms of what do we need to do? I think my preference would just be set up on key mentions. I know there's an agency plan that works out quite well at volume, and that includes the auto-publish feature. So you don't need to run your own accounts. Just sign up for an agency plan with key mentions. You can have you can set up all your clients as a separate project, and then you'll get notifications when relevant threads have come through, and you can just generate and post those comments directly. And then in terms of operations, scaling, any more advice for us?
Yeah, the first thing I would mention is to basically figure out if you have the manpower and time to do it yourself, or if you basically just want to outsource it to somebody. Because there is quite a huge difference. You need to dedicate quite a lot of time to play around with it yourself. Then, of course, tool like he mentions is helping a lot. If people would have to do that, would have to do everything themselves manually, it will be very painful, in my opinion. It would take a lot of time. So that's why either the first thing is to decide whether you want to experiment with it yourself and then use tools, for example, such as key mentions, or you want to completely outsource it to an agency, freelancers, whoever you choose that is suitable for this job, and then basically focusing on the quantity and wider spectrum of the campaign. And then, of course, analyze the results. Ideally, spend at least around 1 month or more, and then analyze the results, how effective it was for your specific brand. And then, of course, evaluate whether you want to spice it up, increase the quantity, and then go further, or you want to wait, let's say, another 2, maybe 4 weeks to see if the results still come in, and then basically adjust as
nice. And keep an eye on ChatGPT at the same time. And
exactly.
so let's just brainstorm here. Assuming I'm a small agency, I'm doing 5 to 10K a month. I've maybe got 4 or 5 clients. So I've got a good relationship with them. So I can just reach out and say, what are we going to say? $500 to $1,000 per month. So let's assume they're already paying $2,500 a month for SEO. So if we now offer them $500 to $1,000 a month for a Reddit service, what do you think that service would look like? in terms of what you get, the deliverables, and the tracking?
I would say it really depends what you are trying to do on the platform. If it's only, let's say, research or analysis, or if it's actual engagement, because there is a lot of different aspects to consider, and everything costs different amount of time or actual amount of money to spend in. The research or analysis part is, I would say, the cheapest, so to speak. It takes less time than actual engagement, because you basically just find all the relevant threads, everything that basically is relevant and suitable for the brand, and then you can basically you are good to go. And when it comes to engagement, you need to understand the specific brand and the niche, and then start engaging accordingly to basically not seem as a marketer or a promoter on the platform.
So I'm intrigued about that. There's a two-path approach. I was just thinking pure engagement. I was thinking get 500 to 1,000 a month. That gives you 100 comments. We'll go out and then place those comments. But I think the research element is interesting because, arguably, that's more like a consultative offer where it should be quite high margin, lower price point but higher margin. So pay us
Right.
$300-400, and we'll go away and find all the Reddit threads you should be posting on. Maybe you could probably use Claude, something like that. Analyze the kind of sentiment, the kind of things that are working. Is that the kind of thing you mean?
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So it's basically
It's
between the client can basically get all the threads and then take it forward however they like, or it's just the pure done for you. We will post you a load of comments.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We also had a couple of inquiries in the past where the clients just wanted us to find all relevant threads, and then they wanted to find their own pace and comment themselves. That works for us as well, of course. But generally speaking, I would also recommend to basically push it harder when it comes to engagement and to see the actual spike in brand searches and see how effective the actual engagement on Reddit is for your brand.
Nice. So already I'm getting the idea. That could be like a super high ticket package where, okay, we'll do the research. We'll basically get your sort of full consent and sign off. These are the kinds of comments we're going to be posting on which threads. Here's why we think it's going to work. But we recommend a 3-month package where we're going to do 600 comments, something like that, so that by month 3, we can get a really clear idea of what's happened to the brand search, what's going on with ChatGPT. Would you say that seems like a good show? I think the issue with this is people are very likely to test it out for a few weeks, a few months, not really go all in, and then say, this doesn't work. Reddit's, I knew it, Reddit doesn't work. Whereas if they're committed, so I think, the way to mitigate that, obviously, is qualification of the client, make sure they're really committed. But then if you can get 5 to 10,000 upfront for this full 3-month package, then that seems like a tasty offer to me.
You basically just explained our experience with the agency.
Right.
That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we do, and that's exactly what we basically experience. And a lot of clients are basically go all in on Reddit marketing. Of course, everybody wants to just test it out first to see the potential of Reddit marketing, and then decide whether they want to go on a long-term period or not.
I can tell it's one of those things where the natural pushback is going to be, we don't want to be spammy, we want to look after our brand. But then you realize that getting a good Reddit comment is so much better than just trying to cram another article to the top of Google or hike up your Facebook ad spend and get a massive frequency. So overall, I think it's pretty legitimate and white hat. So if you can just get them over that initial hurdle, then your retention should be sorted. And inevitably you find, my God, we're making a lot more money as a result.
Yeah.
So I'm just trying to think, how can we make this? I think there's an untapped opportunity. How can we make it so easy for people? How much is the key mentions agency plan?
$249
per month. And then
correct.
And that gets you a lot of projects, lots of keywords to track, and it gets you the auto publish feature.
Yes, that's correct. We also offer a custom plan. So basically, let's say if you are a really big agency, wants to scale up even more, you have lots of different plans you want to put into the same kind of account, and you want some additional maybe features or the specific kind of deal with mentions. Of course, we can make that happen as well.
Nice. And how many comments can you publish on the agency plan?
On the agency plan, basically there is 10,000 mentions a month.
Nice. And you charge, so for the 5,000 with the agency, for $5,000 a month, how many comments does that get the client?
400 comments. That means 400 live comments. Because
Right.
also what
Live.
I believe, yeah, because what happens is that a lot of comments get deleted usually within 24 hours after you post it. Of course, sometimes it happens after those 24 hours. So what we basically make sure is that by the end of the campaign, we check the number of comments that we delivered, and then we just replenish the comments that have been deleted in the meantime.
Wow, that's a big job. Yes, I can see why you charge the big price. I can't do the maths, but so it's basically for the 250 agency plan, you get 10,000 comments, whereas with your agency, you're charging 5,000 for 400 comments, just to give people an idea of the upside here. But yeah, as you said, the key thing there is how many of these comments actually stick. You've got rigorous quality assurance there to make sure that every comment you're charged for actually sticks.
Oh yeah, sorry, I was mistaken. I mentioned comments. It was 10,000 mentions, which basically means threads that you can find within key mentions. We also offer the same amount of comments. It's 400 with the agency plan on key mentions.
Okay, so
my bad.
That's easier maths then. So yeah, 250 a month, 400 comments. But to a proper agency, if you're doing that quality insurance, making sure these comments all stick, then you would charge $5,000 for those 400 comments.
Yep, that's correct.
Nice.
Now we are basically, because we also have that's like a sister agency that we are creating, and then we'll also try to add additional services such as research, as we basically just discussed it previously. And then we also might have found a way to add links into comments. It will be also like a cool addition to our agency plan, where we basically just offer it as a part of the package, bunch of comments with links.
Yeah, never mind ranking in ChatGPT. How do I get links back in Reddit comments? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
I think you've got a good toolkit there. Are there any strategies you're willing to merely even hint at how we might be able to get, for affiliates especially? Because obviously you've said affiliate is a big market, and getting affiliate attribution working with Reddit is tough. I think you mentioned the same thing I've said before about press releases, where if you want to do a press release for an affiliate product, then you can basically register a domain that looks very much like the brand you're promoting, except it's actually redirected into your affiliate link. And there's maybe a very slight spelling error in there. Do that a lot with ClickBank products, especially. Is there anything like that you can do with Reddit?
Yeah, basically that's exactly what you can do with Reddit. To either focus on specific either keywords, but also on specific brands. Just creating a specific brands that are not ranking well organically. Then you can promote that brand on Reddit and then redirect all the traffic from your, let's say, landing page to your affiliate partner and so on. If you want to do it directly through the link, then I would recommend either creating a post or having your own subreddit and then basically promoting it there, which is very risky because it can get banned. The whole subreddit can get banned very quickly if you spam it with affiliate links. Or you can also try to make a partnership with, let's say, subreddits or other Reddit, very active Reddit users who have been active for basically years. And then you can basically talk to them if they are able to share your link for you.
Oh, so it's like sponsored influencer marketing, but just for Reddit.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
I'll just spell it out it got a bit complicated there, but basically the idea is for the affiliate link, you can create what looks like a real brand, promote that on Reddit, generate the branded search from Reddit, so it's an unlinked mention, and then rank that brand on Google for the brand name you've created, and then redirect the users to actually click on that result to then the affiliate link.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you don't have to say if you don't have to, but are you using any sort of cloaking there so that it ranks on Google, but actual human users are then redirected to the affiliate link? Or is it just a straight 3-1 redirect?
Oh, it's a straight 3-1 redirect. We are using one specific tool to basically make sure that we are tracking everything efficiently, but there is not really anything special that we are doing on top of that.
All right. So even though you've redirected it, it still ranks on Google because you've created this brand that there's no competition for, presumably.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Okay, I've already kept you far too long and I could geek out on this all day. So huge thanks to Michal. I'm sure everyone listening will agree you are the Reddit rock star.
Thank you so much.
I think it's a shame that inevitably in 6 weeks' time, everything you've told me will have changed significantly. But thank God we've got people like you who are constantly testing and learning and experimenting. It's what you really learn, especially going to an SEO conference. that technique you thought died 3 years ago, or whatever hack you've been trying to figure out here, there's someone who has dug down and gone the extra mile, and they are now a world-class boss at that particular technique that no one else knows about. And it all just comes to committing, persistence, and focus. So yeah, I think for anyone listening, huge opportunity there. If you have clients or if you're doing any marketing at all, don't sleep on Reddit. It's a huge opportunity. And it used to be really difficult, really challenging, where you had to get aged accounts, proxies, anti-intercept browsers, spend a lot of time on it. Whereas now it's as simple as setting up a key mentions account, get an agency plan if you want, if you've got clients, and just start experimenting, track some keywords, post some comments, and watch as your branded traffic spikes. Also, Michal, you've got a free plan as well, haven't you?
Oh yeah, that's correct. Yeah.
Great. Test out for free. There's literally no risk to you. Anything you wanted to add?
Not really. I just generally recommend engaging on Reddit. Basically, there's almost nothing to lose, except, of course, some hours of your own time. But it's very relevant for almost every brand there is. Yeah, nowadays, just to basically spend some time, try to experiment a bit, try to see basically how effective it is for your brand. And what I also notice a lot of people do when they want to be very specific when it comes to effectiveness of email marketing is they create a white label solution and they only focus on email marketing for a specific let's say, product or company. So they see that basically every single click that comes to the website is only from email marketing. And that's basically mostly talking about the organic approach that we have been basically discussing pretty much the whole time. And I'll be more than happy to help anyone if they have any questions or they basically want to take it to the next level and need help to actually outsource it to, or they're just curious, they have any questions, I'll be happy to help.
Very nice. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you too, Stuart. It was great.